What a month for Roman city builders. Today on the 16th of September, the free demo for Anno 117, the next Anno game set in the Roman antiquity, is ending. It's unfortunate it's ending. It was from the 2nd to the 16th. If you haven't been able to play it, don't worry, just check in the video description below. You'll be able to see all of my videos covering it, actual gameplay, but also my review of it. Today, on the 16th, this is also the day where Roman Triumph goes on version 1.0. After a pretty successful early access that was actually pretty short also. Despite being a solo dev game, he has worked on it for so long that when he went into early access, there was already a lot of great stuff. We looked at it on the channel. You can see this in the video description below too. But today we have access to version 1.0. which is bringing quite a few new things since we first looked at it. So that's what we're gonna do today. Launching a new game, you'll see right away something very new. We have a completely new biome. And by the way, the game developer has also said that he will continue supporting the game, maybe adding more biomes, things like that in the future. But for now, we indeed have a completely new one. Instead of a highland forest, of a bit like Germany if you wish, we have now the biome desert of, let's say North Africa. Right? So instead of a lot of mountains and trees, we're gonna have open terrain, few trees, but a lot more minerals, right? There's more minerals into the soil. Speaking of soil, the fertility is obviously gonna be lower. Instead of having good fertile land for agriculture, you have now low fertility where you're gonna need to put aqueducts everywhere. And then they say, we have also different enemies instead of things like the Hydra. Actually, we still have the Hydra, but we have the Minotaur. That's a new enemy there. So this is definitely going to be harder. Given that it's probably a lot harder, we're not going to start with that one. We're going to start back with the Highland Forest so that I can show you everything that the game has to offer. But do tell me in the comments below if you want to see a second video with the new desert biome. Now, this is not the only thing new. There's definitely a lot more. Here we can continue to change a couple of things. We have, for example, do we want a bit more of island, kind of layout? How many lakes and mountains do we want? The fertility, how many, rocks do we want, etc. And when we continue, we have a lot of choices in terms of how we want to play. I would say the normal experience is over here. This is the normal experience where it's not that easy, but it's not crazy hard. And we're gonna have both normal enemies like barbarians, but also mythological challenges like dragons or the Minotaur we mentioned. But if you don't like this, there is many other options. We have the complete sandbox over here. Basically, using a cheat menu, you can build everything you want, no problem. It's easy. We have also over here no attacks of red. If you just want to build the biggest city ever, you can do that. And also, if you want to play with armies, with enemies, but no mythological creatures, it's kind of the normal Roman experience, this is possible. And then lastly, you have over here, an easy mode with the weaker enemies, more forgiving experience, and a harder mode, which you can also change slightly over here at the bottom. For example, the goat patience or the attack frequency, you can change quite a few things here. But as I said, this is kind of the normal experience. This is what they want you to play first. That's what we're gonna do. Stand by the Emperor. You must establish a Roman settlement in the untamed frontier of the Empire, in the northern lands, or the arid desert. In this case, the northern desert, where hostile tribes and fearsome beasts will threaten your every move. And here it is, and then step number 1, place a castrum, center of a settlement. You need to be a bit smart because obviously you need to look at the resource. Like there's a lot of animals here. There's a bit of, is that stone or iron? Stone or iron. So stone is here, iron is there. We're gonna need a bit of everything. Plus you look also at the fertility. Like there is a pretty good fertility here, but not so much there. And last but not least, you look at the mountains, at the defenses. Can you use the terrain to protect yourself? All right, so here, this is not so great. Let me just check quickly. Oh, that's looking not too bad. Okay, I'm thinking we go over here. Like this can be where I put a lot of industry. Here can be where I put houses. And here, maybe this is my farms. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Place the building. They're gonna, build it very quickly because it's the first one. After this, every building is gonna take time. You can rotate, of course, zoom in, zoom out. We can go to 1, 2, or 3 speed. And this tutorial over here is showing us that we have our population, 8 citizens right now. We have 0 house or 0 beds because we don't have any houses. We have 8 available workers, nobody's working, 0 soldiers. My religion we haven't started yet, and my happiness is pretty low, 25%. We're gonna want to upgrade that in the future with, for example, good houses, or for the health to have, healthcare access like a hospital, town guards for safety, etc., etc. We have the job priority. That's a very important one. I'll show you in a second. And lastly, this is a survival game, so we can actually gather resources from the map and it will disappear. So for example, I can say, I think this should be my housing quarter. So let's delete this pretty quickly. And similarly, I think this is gonna be where I put my farm. So let's, destroy all of this pretty quickly. I have selected this one over here, I think, if I'm not mistaken, which means we're gonna take both the wood and the stone that we can find. If you want to take only the stone, you can also do this. And then last but not least, we have the Imperial ledger over here that's showing us, all of the details. Right now we only have 1 building, so that's easy, but in the future that's going to be really important. You do need to place roads also into the game, in this game. So we're going to do this. Right now they want us to build, a first road, and they're also giving us, missions. The first mission is to build 2 houses. Domus, to be precise, is the basic one, a hunter's hut, gather some wood and stone. So gathering wood and stone, that's what I've been doing, right? You can see my people here bringing a bit of wood back, etc. But yeah, let's expand a road like this. I'm gonna make just a Roman camp like this. Okay. So yes, we're gonna need road for many buildings, actually. We've gathered wood already. Let's press tab to see what's happening. I have 8 people, right? So I've told them to gather wood and stone. Now I've told to gather a lot of wood. So to gather all of this wood, actually I would need 124 people. Obviously we have 8, so that's not gonna work, which means we have 0 people on stone. Now we can do 2 things. We can decide to put stone first, and now we'd have 7 people on stone and 1 on wood. Or what you can do is more put a limit. Let's say we're gonna put a limit of 5. Oops, not 51, please. 5 for the wood. So only 5 people are gonna work on wood, and that means we have 3 on stone. And that's gonna be quite important in the game in the future. Now, additionally, as I said, we're gonna want to start a mini city. So let's go. We're gonna rotate those houses here, 2. In the future we can make more than 2, and they also told us to make a hunter's hut. Hunter's hut needs animal, it needs basically trees, so you can't put it too close. I mean, it's not too bad here right now because we haven't cut all of the trees yet, but soon we're gonna cut the trees, and I guarantee you it's not gonna be that great. So I think actually we're gonna put it pretty far, like somewhere over here. Let's actually first put the road. So I see, so some buildings like this one don't really need a road, other will need a road. So the road is actually hard to see, but it is there. And I guess we will see, oh, I'm out of wood because this costs 30 wood and 10 tools, or 10 weapons, sorry, because we need weapons to attack the boars and things like this, right? So anyway, we're going to unpause now, accelerate the time a bit because they're building here, bringing resources, etc. And then we are going to get, here it is, we have enough wood to make a hunter's hut. So it cannot be there because there is a road, and this is exactly what I wanted, to be able to see right where the road is. So let's put it there. That should be a pretty good productivity. As I said, you can choose to make it a priority. Right now, for example, it's priority number 2. Not sure what is priority number 1 because those 2 seems to be finished already. We have 1 house with 5 people. Yeah, with 5 people, 5 out of 5, and one house with 3 out of 5. This is going to give us therefore 2 vacant beds, and so next month maybe we'll have some new joiners into the city. You do have to be careful that you need to actually feed those people, and right now we're not actually making any food, but hopefully very quickly this will be built. You can actually click here if you want to have more workers. And I tend to put always builder towards the top, but we may want to do the same thing of limiting it a bit, right? Because otherwise it may be too many. Oh no, sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. So wood, stay at 5, please. And it's builders here that I want to put. What's going on? Builders, it should be, yeah, let's put 10. Done. Okay. Now we just got 2 new people, so we're actually exactly at 10, and now we have the hunter's hut that has started, which means we also need workers there. Now this one right to the top for sure, because we need food right now. This is decreasing. Okay, next mission is gather a bit of stone, so maybe we put the stone a bit higher right now just for the mission, and that way they will give us a new mission, which if I remember correctly is do the food, yes, food storage and wheat farm. So for the wheat farm, we're gonna need a pretty good, fertility. So here we have a 110 fertility, here we only have 80%, so obviously not so great. But yeah, on this corner here, that seems pretty good. There is a few trees and we need a road too, so let's get started with the road first and let's slow down time for a bit. We're gonna go all the way there, good. And then let's see. So actually we can put on both sides of this road. I don't want to put it too close there because I think that's gonna be my houses. But there, yeah, 112 fertility, that's pretty good. 106, okay. And then maybe we're going to have here a road in the future for the stone. And so maybe we put a food storage here in the corner of these. One for now, in the future maybe a second here. So as I said, we can choose what is the priority. This one is priority 1 right now, this one is priority 6, right? So it's gonna take obviously more time for this one to be built. And yeah, we still have my builders. Actually, I'm gonna put my hunters above the builders. We're gonna put the wood before the stone, because wood, you really, especially at the beginning of the game, you're gonna need more wood than stone to build many things, including maintenance. So each building, or not each building, but most buildings are gonna have some maintenance. For example, one domus is 2 woods of monthly upkeep. So you need to make sure you're always getting new wood, otherwise those houses are not gonna get, upkeeped. This one has no upkeep, so that's a pretty good one. But some, if we look at an advanced house, like a villa, this is 5 stone, 6 cloth, and 12 bricks. So even if we could build this, which we can't, because we need to first unlock it with research, and second, we need to build it with resource we don't have, I couldn't even maintain it anyway. Now that we've built those farms and see people working there, we're gonna need to also make sure we prioritize this. I did build also 2 new houses, because we were already at 16 people, so there was no vacant beds. But yeah, like I said, let's make sure we put our farmers to the top. We're going to also check quickly on my gathering over here. There's still a lot of wood, but apparently there's no more stone already to be gathered. We may want to also clean that a bit more here and over here. Okay, and then let's focus just on stone and see if there's not more stone we can get over here, for example. There. Okay, cool. So we took the stone, a bit more wood too, that's great. Now we need to build a wood archer tower and start training some legionaries with Gladius and Pilium. So where are we gonna get probably attacked? Probably more from that side or potentially from this side. Huh. Not so easy to defend, but I'm thinking maybe we put it here. So let's go. Because we're gonna get attacked, that's for sure, and we should use the terrain to help us defend. So somewhere over here. Okay, so that's the first... Wait, I thought I put the hunters above the builders. And then for training, you click on your headquarters and you'll see armies open. We have only access, of course, to tier 1 right now. We're going to need to do research for tier 2 and tier 3. There's some new troops versus when we first looked at it. And yeah, they tell us to get 2 legionaries, 2 pilum, which can throw spears but are weaker. So you need to be careful in combat. And then we can also have potentially some archers. Now, all of these will cost both, resources and citizens to build, but also to maintain. So keep that in mind, especially, make sure you have enough food. Like right now we have 4. I'm hoping this is enough for now, but it may not be enough soon, to be honest. So we may actually make a new farm soon. Like here, this is 109. Yeah, it's not bad. Let's make it right away. Because I've increased my population already at 19. We have 20 beds. So soon we're gonna need again another bed. Go put it here. And I'm thinking about the road here. I guess we're gonna do something simple like that for now. Okay. So yeah, we're building a couple of things. It takes a bit of time for the soldiers, to also be trained, because they need, basically the citizen needs to come here, get the resources. It takes a second basically to be trained. But in a couple of seconds, we should see few soldiers coming out here. We have the house being built. This is not being built yet. And how are we doing? This one is gonna take a while because it's very far. Right, so they need to go all the way here to be able to deliver the resources. Do we see anybody? Yeah, here it is. This guy here is coming here, right, and the progress now started. But they need to also bring the resources with them, so it takes a bit of time. Congratulations, our village Christophville has just reached 20 of population. That is good. And yeah, here it is. Here's my soldiers. So we can move them, of course. You can say, or let's select only the archers. We can create groups, we can create formations. Oh, and look at this. They look nice. They look nice. Okay, so yeah, when we get attacked, we have a small defense. We have also quite a few vacant beds now because many of my citizens became legionaries. So hopefully next month we get back people so we can continue to gather, build, etc. Speaking of building, so the house is done. This is almost done. Oh, and our first enemy wave is coming already. So in this difficulty level here, we're going to be able to know how many and when and where. So in 5 months, we're going to have 12 barbarians and they come from here. Okay, so coming from here, they will probably not go there. They will probably come more over here, which is a bit of a challenge, but at least we have our troops. And I'm not sure I want to make another tower, very far yet. They could also even come through that one. So I think we will, for now, just defend with this. It's only 12 barbarians, should be fine. Maybe if we want to be, slightly safe, we could potentially make a few more, but I'm a bit worried we don't have that much gold and food right now. So we're gonna wait a bit. The tower is still not built, almost there. Yes, we are at 92%. There are 3 people assigned to it. If I want, I could assign even more to them. But I think they're just waiting to bring the resources to it. I thought we could see the resources somewhere that are missing. But I guess I dreamed that. But like we could. Anyway, here it is. It's been built. And you need to assign an archer to it if you really want it, to be manned. Okay, what's next? What's next is a stockpile, clay pit, and brickworks. So we can actually place that anywhere we want. We don't need a clay deposit if you wish. But what we do need is to put it as far as possible from our houses, because it's gonna create negative impact. Let me actually show you. So if you look at the clay pit over here, this is minus 15 of comfort. The brickworks minus 30. So you don't want to put it too close to, you know, the rest of your city, basically. I am thinking we may put it over here with a stockpile here, there, clay pit, and wrong button, brickworks. Yeah, let's rotate it. Good. So they're gonna take a minute, of course, to build all of this. This is going to give us a bit more food, but we're okay on food for now. We do have to be careful if my population increases a bit more. But again, for now, we're fine. We may want... Now, we have still 4 months, so don't need to put too many... to put the worker on the archer right away, I think. Okay. Good. What else? Yeah, probably just waiting at that point. And here it is, ladies and gents, the brickwork is working. You can see people there, some fire. And in the future, we'll be able to upgrade, by the way, many of those buildings. But for now, this is starting. And with this, we're going to start making some bricks, which means we can start having buildings that will have a brick maintenance. For example, here, the hospitium. We started with domus. This is 5 people and only 45 of comfort. Now we have the hospitium, this is 10 people and 55 of comfort. So they're gonna be a bit happier if you wish, but it does cost 2 bricks of upkeep. So you need to be careful. It's not like you can have an unlimited number of these potentially. I am thinking what we're gonna do is maybe we're gonna delete this one. And that way we put 2 hospitium next to each other. And that's gonna be looking even better. On top of this, they tell us to build a tavern and an academia. So the tavern is here in the services. It's actually the first one. Let me just put that out. This will cost 30 bricks. So we're gonna need to wait a second, but this will help create comfort and recreation for a pretty big radius around. So we're gonna put it somewhere over here, basically. On the other hand, the academia is here, 100 of stone. So we need to make sure we have enough stone. Also costs quite a bit of upkeep. And by the way, you can have multiple academia. And the more academia you have, the more you're gonna research faster. But as I said, it's a pretty steep monthly upkeep. Plus, it's 4 people working there. So we don't have that right now. I did say we're gonna need 100 of stone. So I think we're gonna need to gather a bit more stone than what we had done so far. And yeah, by the way, obviously, the tower has been built, otherwise we wouldn't be doing this mission right now. Okay, so that is good. What's happening? Oh, I have so many people building that there is not enough people now in the brickworker and clay pit. I'm gonna put stone just below clay. It's more important to get clay than stone. Actually, wood is more important than stone too. Okay, see you in a sec when that's built. Now the hospitiums has been built and we have quite a bit more stone and bricks. So let's get started first with the tavern to make my people happy. So it is, you can see the area in green. So actually we don't even need to put it that close. I can put it more over here. And I'll have space for another building basically in the middle. So we're gonna do something like this. We're gonna add the road just for the fun of it and so that we know what we're doing. And then on the other hand, for the academia, you can put it anywhere you want. It doesn't have to be that close, you know, to your house or anything like this. And for now, we're just gonna put it here. Okay. We are 1 month away from the attack. So we may want to put an archer into, you know, the tower over here. And it takes a second, you know, the person needs to move from where they are, let's say over here, all the way there before it is actually manned. So don't wait the last minute. And yeah, let's accelerate the time. Actually, the time is gonna reduce anyway as soon as the barbarians really come. And I've made a few more soldiers here because I had quite a bit of food. So I was like, okay, should be fine. Let's go into this formation. So you can see the archer has arrived now. And yeah, the barbarians are still not there. Come on. Come on. I mean, in the meantime, we're doing the buildings. You can see slowly but surely. Here it is. This one is almost finished. So we'll be able to see the difference. Right now, we have 7 comfort for the house around here thanks to this one. But with this one, you can get a lot more, 25 and 20 for comfort recreation. So my happiness has moved from, it was at 25 at the beginning, now it's at 52. It's a lot higher. So that's great. That is great. We will be also able to research in a second. Before we do that, I do want to show you that you need to put people, like this is 4 workers, and we will indeed keep it just below the food, but before my productions. And researcher, we're actually going to put it pretty low, because it's fine if the research stops, right? It's not fine if my clay or even my wood actually slows down. So I think that's where we're gonna put it. We have a lot of vacant beds, so hopefully very soon we'll have something. And yeah, as I said, you can have multiple of those academia, but with one at least you can start research. There is 5 different research trees: food, houses and monuments, industries, service and religions, and city defense. I think the first mission, oh actually we see it already. We have a mission now of quarry, forester and cabbage. And actually I think 2 of those buildings you need to research first. So the cabbage, for example, right, we need to research it. So let's start with that one. 5 stone, 5 wood and 10 bricks, easy. But sometimes it's gonna be a lot harder. And I do like, by the way, that they tell you this is what you're gonna have left after you do this. This is pretty great quality of life. Let's look, for example, at houses. Yeah, like an insulae. To unlock an insulae, you need to have built 3 domus, 2 hospitium. So we've done that. You can see it's checked. But sometimes it's gonna be a lot harder. For example, city defense. Let's look at brick. Yes, brick archer towers. You need to have built 4 wooden archer towers before you can even research this one. I like that. I think that is pretty cool. But yeah, here it is. We have, and by the way, they showed you, right, how long it's gonna take to research, etc. So all good. Now the barbarians, as I expected, they're going a bit more on this side than on the side of my archer. I'm gonna keep the archer just in case. Oh, there are 2 here, but still I think they're gonna go more here than there. So we should try to intercept them. Of course, in the future we'll try to have walls and things like this. Actually, maybe the archer will kill these ones rather than just troops. Speaking of which, I feel like we should get started. Let's have a wall here, for example. Now, this is like, let's close this. In the future, maybe over here, let's close that. Okay, so the archer tower here is attacking. Not a great precisions. Okay, I feel like some of them are gonna go through. But look, we're doing good damage here. We're going to try to attack them. Where are they going? They're going for my city. Okay. So archers obviously not so great for combat, so you have to be careful. But yeah, we've killed. Great. And I think we're done. That was a first good attack, ladies and gents. We have survived. So let's put back the archer right at the bottom. We need a few more people now. How come we have so little? Oh, because I'm building new things. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. It is. We just finished the second research. After the cabbage, I did the stone mining, so we unlocked the quarry. I'm gonna build one in a second, but first let's make sure we start another research right away. And I'm thinking either the temples or taxes to start getting some money. Or maybe we can do an upgrade. me see, how much does that cost? Now this is way too expensive. Okay, so we're gonna do this. How expensive? Oh, this one is not expensive. So let's do this. Furniture upgrade, 30 food. We have 260 of food because I've added one more wheat farm and we've added 2 cabbage farms. So they are quite different size. You can see it's a lot more rectangular than square. It's also a different production. This was 28 per month. This is now 37 per month, but it does have a 2 bricks upkeep. So I think we're gonna slowly but surely get to a point where I may need a second brick production just to keep up with the upkeep. If you look over here, my production is 35 per month. My consumption is already 21. And I've added also next to it, you know, some food storages. It's 160 of storage for each of them. So that's pretty good. And this way, maybe in the future, we can delete that one here or move it. Additionally, if you look over here in the description, they will tell you that it is healthier than wheat. So if for health over here, I guess, you know, the quality, and I also know that you get also a higher health if you have multiple types of food. So it's always good to have a bit of everything. Having said that, the second was the forester. So I built one here, but I think we're going to pause it right now, to be honest, because I have so much. So a forester is going to plant 8 trees per month, and then they will be selected to be cut. So it is very good when you don't have a lot of trees anymore, but look at how many trees I have. Like, I need to cut trees, not the other way around. Which, yeah, by the way, let's cut even more. So we're gonna cut over here, cut there, there, good. I'm thinking maybe we also cut a bit more on this side for future farms. Anyway, so I have so much that's why I paused it. And then last but not least, as I said, a quarry. So we've just unlocked this in the industry quarries here. 55 of wood, 35 of bricks. So as I said, I think soon we're gonna want to put a second brick production. The quarry is also really bad in terms of comfort, minus 45 of comfort, and the circle is pretty big, so you don't want to put it close to your houses. But we have one here, so hopefully we can manage. You may need to rotate the building because you need to get, you know, this red thing on the deposit over here. So done. Okay, good. And I guess that means here in the future, if we want, we're gonna have potentially a second storage. Where are you here? Put another storage. Okay, so they're gonna build this, and with that we're gonna finish the, you know, kind of start of technology, start of more advanced gathering, because it's, you know, this is unlimited. Sorry, I should have said it. This is unlimited stone, while all of the stone that we had so far was very limited. Similarly for the wood, you cut this tree, it's gone. So that was limited, versus this is unlimited wood. So this is the whole point, right? I do think, let's check over here. No, we're good, we're good. The quarry we're gonna put probably a bit higher, because now we are using quarry every month, we're using stone every month for the maintenance of buildings. So I really do need to have, you know, an unlimited production, or regular production, let's say. Okay, and yeah, we're gonna do this research. Actually, maybe let's do it quickly with time 3, so I can show you what this is. So this is gonna be our first upgrade, I think. Let's see. So quarry workers, they put it here. I'm gonna put it just below the barkeeper, actually. Okay, and yeah, we finished this research. So let's launch an. Oh, actually, we have upgrade an archer tower. So we should probably do that research. Going to city defense, we have sharp arrows. This is an upgrade for many of your towers. We're gonna do that one. 35 food, that's easy, done. But yeah, let's look at a couple of my house. For example, this hospitium over here. Right now the comfort is 87. I can now do this furniture upgrade. It's gonna cost 12 wood, 5 bricks, but it's going to increase the comfort of the house by 4. Sometimes some upgrades, for example, this one here will also change the upkeep, but this one doesn't even change the upkeep. So as long as you have the resource, it's like a no-brainer to improve your whole, you know, your whole houses. So this one is 91, now 95, right? So again, no brainer in my opinion, as long as you have some of the resources. Good. So yes, build walls, build a gate, and upgrade tower. So we've built a few walls here, a few walls there. I'm thinking maybe we're going to also close this part there, or maybe we close over here. Goddess Venus notices you. Hello darlings, I'm Venus, the goddess of love and beauty. The first god has found us. There are actually 4. You have Venus, you have Mars, Jupiter, and Ceres, or Ceres. Each of them, you know, obviously will want temples, they will want also donations. So we're gonna need to keep an eye on this, because if you do this, obviously they will be happy, they will give you things. On the other hand, if you don't, they will take things away from you. So yes, we are definitely going to have to keep an eye out on this. Right now, I could potentially give a bit. So let's see, Venus, we can give a bit of food because we have 200, and that's going to support, you know, the favor. It's going to start increasing. She does want a temple, but we need to do research for a temple. And then I see a new attack, this time coming from this side, which is perfect because that is where I'm starting to put the wall. They may come on this side too, so we may need though a bit more walls, basically. We put also another gate, and I guess another tower. Don't know if we're gonna have the time to build all of this, but it's not gonna be wasted anyway. Did I put it there or did I put it? I think this is the wrong space. Oh yes, wrong one. Okay, it's fine. We can demolish it, put it again. Done. Okay, so let's get started with this. See in a second all of these being built. We're doing also our next research for that. That's fine. Food is looking good. We're still okay on these. And yeah, you can see even for the clay, we're producing more than our consumption, but just by a bit. So if we want to actually increase our brick production, we're probably gonna need one of each and not just, you know, one or the other. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a good end for this first episode. I know I didn't show a lot of new things. This was already part of the early access, but still, I've showed you the basics, right? You have your population, you need to try to get your population as happy as possible by giving them good houses, by upgrading those houses, by providing services like the tavern, etc. On the opposite side, you need to avoid giving them maluses, so you move your production, like your brickworks or your quarry, a bit out of the way. You have food productions. We've seen 2, but there's way more than 2 in the future. We have also multiple types of troops. These are still basic right now, but they look good and they fight. They fight well to defend our city. Speaking of defending our city, we will also have walls, we'll have towers. We're gonna upgrade them too. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we do research. We have to be careful about the gods. They will be trading also into the future. It's this one over here. We can trade with the other, you know, cities around us. And yeah, still a lot more obviously of complexity. In particular, we're gonna get into production chains that are way more complex. We're gonna get into a lot of different types of services. For example, we've increased our comfort by quite a lot, but we haven't touched our culture, our safety, and our recreation is pretty low, right? So we're gonna need to manage all of this. I hope you're excited, smash the like button, and I hope to see you next time.